For about 6 months now, we have officially been full-blown in Pluto and Aquarius energy. Pluto officially re-entered the sign of Aquarius back in December of 2024, where it will stay until 2044, where we will experience intensity related to Aquarian themes. Many of us have shifted into a brand new chapter of our lives. With whatever house placement you have Aquarius ruling in your life, you'll find very deep intensity rooted to those themes. You might have found that you changed career paths, started a family, or you might have even found your entire life got flipped upside down just for you to enter a brand new chapter of your life rooted in more Aquarian themes. And how you relate to Aquarius energy uniquely will tell you how your life will be during this new 20-year transit. Before 2024, we had experienced Pluto and Capricorn, and we experienced a major death and rebirth as a society in themes related to Capricorn energy. We saw big major corporations become billion-dollar industries. We saw people seize power across all different sorts of industries and rise into the spotlight. We also saw many different people with Capricorn energy rise into positions of prominence within our society. And now that Pluto is officially in Aquarius, you will find that your life is shifting and changing and morphing into something brand new as it pertains to the house ruler of Aquarius in your birth chart. You might find that you started to have more of a death and rebirth in those themes and area of your life, and you could find that you start a brand new career path as it relates to them. You could step into this new chapter of your life going full blown into this new area of life that you have never felt this much intensity ever before. Many of us in our lifetimes have really only experienced a few different Pluto transits. The most recent are Pluto in Sagittarius and Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto in Aquarius is going to be very, very different energy than what these two transits we had before were like. We've already started to see a lot of really intense and deep things as it relates to humanity as a whole. We've seen a lot of rebellion happening and a lot of people really talking about what's happening and going on in our media and with humanity on social media and on digital platforms. We've already seen the rise of AI into prominence. We've started to see so many space age themes already start to take place when Pluto is making its way through the sign of Aquarius. We've seen people leisurely travel to space as well, and we've seen celebrities go into space. We've started to see this new space age really start to take place. Again, we've also seen a lot of themes related to humanitarian causes as well. And throughout the next 20 years, we'll see more and more of these themes start to really pop up in our day-to-day lives. We might even start to see more of a space race, people going into space and colonizing space, and a lot of different themes as it relates to our galaxy and our solar system. We've also had a lot of themes of aliens and the government confirming that there are aliens in our ocean. We will see more of these themes throughout the next 20 years as it really starts to bring a lot of intensity and bring Aquarian themes to the forefront. If you really think about Aquarian energy is air. It's a fixed air sign. And when you really start to personify fixed air energy, it is the air at the very, very top of the earth. It's the air right before you hit space, but it's so close to like the outer edge of the earth. And when we hit space and go into the solar system, it is that type of energy. It's different, it's alien, it's unique. And with Aquarius being a fixed air sign, it's going to bring some sort of strong transformation, especially with humanity and how we see humanity. Throughout the age of Aquarius, we're going to see a major transformation happen with how we see each other as a whole society, as a global society, not necessarily so pertain to tribal themes in different continents and countries. People as a global society, people might also start to connect more and speak with each other more and more as we make our way through Pluto and Aquarius, which we've already started to see, especially in January and February of 2025. We're going to continue to see these themes happen and pop up throughout the entire transit that Pluto makes its way through the sign of Aquarius. And especially when Uranus enters the sign of Gemini later on in July, we might see more and more themes related to communicating with people as a global society, speaking to people in different countries that we have never spoken to before. And that is because the ruler of Aquarius is Uranus, and Uranus, when it makes its way through Gemini, we are going to start to be seeing a lot of communication start popping up more on a humanitarian level. Not only will we be talking more about humanitarian themes and humanity in general, but we will also be speaking with different people that we had never spoken to before. People might start to make connections with other people who live in different countries and start to form more of a collective consciousness as a global society. As before, we kind of had really more tribally themed or themed with different continents and different countries. Now, on May 4th, the planet Pluto is going to enter its first retrograde in the full Aquarian cycle. It is going to start its retrograde cycle May 4th, 2025. For 5 months until October 15th, it is going to make its way retrograde through the sign of Aquarius. Last year in 2024, we had a very similar transit as Pluto goes retrograde on an annual basis. However, in 2024, the Pluto retrograde was kind of different as Pluto started in Aquarius, but then retrograded back into the sign of Capricorn, where it stayed in for just 1 month before it went right back into the sign of Aquarius. This time during Pluto retrograde, we are going to have Pluto start in the sign of Aquarius and complete its retrograde cycle through the sign of Aquarius. And with the themes that we've really started to see pop up within society in January, February, March, and so on throughout the spring, it can be inferred that most people are really starting to step into this new theme that they're going to be having throughout the entire Pluto and Aquarius cycle. Many people, again, have started new careers, have started new jobs, they have decided to become an entrepreneur, they have started to rise up in their company, they might have decided to start a family or completely change and shift their life into more of this Pluto and Aquarius energy. And when Pluto goes retrograde, what is going to happen collectively as a society is we're going to start to become better at this new Pluto and Aquarius energy. We're going to start to become better and learn new karmic lessons as it relates to the energy that you're karmically supposed to be in during Pluto and Aquarius in order to become the best and highest version of yourself. This new energy that you started back in December of 2024 and through the spring of 2025, you're going to start to really hone in on that energy and become better at what you're going to be doing throughout the next 20 years. That's what this Pluto retrograde cycle is really going to be about. That's the themes that you're going to start to see. Whatever project that you started back in December, January, February, March, you're going to find that this is going to be a time for you that people will karmically enter your life to help you become better at this new energy that you're in. Or maybe you finally get a breakthrough, or maybe you learn that you have to work harder in one part of this new energy that you're in Pluto and Aquarius, in this new life that you're living. You might find that whatever you're karmically supposed to do during this new energy, this is the time that you're going to start to become better at that thing, better at whatever new energy that you're supposed to be in, whatever new path that you're supposed to karmically go on. This is the time that you are going to start to really take a step back and learn new karmic lessons as to how to get better at that energy. The person who you're going to be in 2026 is going to be very different from the person who you're going to be in 2025. You're going to start to get much better at this new energy. And as we experience it as a whole, as a collective, as a society, you're going to find that more things tend to go really well for you throughout this year and the themes that you learn right now during Pluto retrograde. So what does this mean for you specifically? I'm going to go ahead and go through all of the rising signs so you can gain a better sense of how this is going to specifically affect you. I'm going to go through the rising signs, but make sure you check your sun, moon, and rising sign to get a full picture of how this will work out for you. If you're an Aries rising, Pluto and Aquarius has started transiting your 11th house of friend groups, of group affiliations, of networks. And you might have found that since about December of 2024, new people have entered your life and have really kind of flipped your life upside down. You might have found that you have a lot more power in your own social networks at this current point in time. You might have found that a lot of people have started to enter your life, invite you to things, invite you to clubs, parties, networking events, where you'll be able to grow your social networks and connect with more people. You might have also found that you got a new job or started a new career path that is now more solely focused on groups of people and crowds of people. Maybe you work in the music industry and you're somebody who puts together live shows and live events for people. That's just one example, but maybe you work in that type of industry or that type of field, and you find that because there is so much intensity with you right now around networks and groups of people, this is kind of the path that you want to go on. Like, you want to be in groups of people, you want to help groups of people, and you might also be thinking about new ways to create something for groups of people in order to boost your own public image and also prosper financially. You might have also found that you could be more focused on social media during this time as well. Maybe you've started to become a content creator on social media instead of working for somebody else. And maybe you've started to find that you have a lot of power in this new path that you're going on. Whatever new path that you're going on, Aries Rising, you might find find that there is a big focus on a big emphasis on groups, group affiliation, and your social networks. When Pluto starts to go retrograde on May 4th, you might find that whatever path you're supposed to go on, new things will start to karmically happen in your life that will allow you to be put in new situations that might bring more powerful people into your life to help you become better at what you're doing in Pluto and Aquarius. If you're a music artist, maybe your life now is around doing live shows and creating entertainment for groups of people, and also physically being in a large crowd of people watching you on stage. Maybe that is what you are doing right now. You might find that new people enter your life during Pluto retrograde that will allow you to really accomplish that. Maybe they will help you put together live shows. Maybe they'll come into your life and help you with things. Maybe people will enter your life with the intention of inviting you to new events where then you can network with people and grow and expand your network and allow you to really step into the energy that you're going to be in when you are in Pluto and Aquarius. You might have a lot of very fated events around networking and parties and just being in groups of people. You might also find that during this time period, if you've been a content creator or somebody who posts a lot on social media, something could happen for you very karmically as it pertains to your social media presence. Maybe you go super mega viral on social media and everyone knows your name and everybody knows the things that you're saying. And all of a sudden, your life kind of flips upside down, so you can really be projected into this new Pluto and Aquarius energy where you are now serving groups of people, hundreds of thousands of people at once, all at the same time. You might find that maybe you need to move across the country, Aries Rising, in order to really be in an environment that will allow you to tap into large groups of people and allow you to step into your newfound power in these groups. You might also find that your life becomes very intensely focused on groups of people and serving groups of people at this time as well. And you might find that something karmically happens in your life that allows you to project yourself into this new timeline. And come October, when Pluto retrograde ceases, you might find that you're in a brand new timeline in your energy. Taurus Rising. Since about December of 2024, you might have found that all of a sudden you've had a lot of eyes on you. You might have really stepped into your true power in the spotlight, or have started to put together the puzzle pieces in order to become somebody very much so in the spotlight. You might have all of a sudden started getting movie deals, or people started reaching out to you, offering you deals to model or become a music artist, or something along those lines that really puts you full force in the spotlight. You might have also found that you were being called to be in the spotlight at this point in time as well. So maybe if you're not acting in TV shows and movies or making music, maybe you're a content creator on social media and you're creating things for people to see and you're watching yourself go viral over and over and over again. Either way, Taurus Rising, in Pluto and Aquarius, you are meant to be in the spotlight. With Pluto transiting your 10th house of public image, fame, reputation, and career, you are meant to be seen. You are meant to be seen by so many people. And you might also find that if you work more of a corporate job, you could be somebody who is now going to be stepping into a new position of power at work as well. Not just power, but visibility. You could be somebody who could have been in the background in the Pluto and Capricorn. You could have been somebody who's more of a worker bee. But now Pluto and Aquarius is really calling for you and asking for you to be in that position of leadership, of managerial skill, managing teams and groups of people, and you yourself being the face of that company, the face of that brand. And people are going to recognize you and see you as somebody who is a leader, and people are going to see you and recognize you as a leader and somebody who is supposed to be managing all of these people. You might also find that Pluto and Aquarius could bring a big death and rebirth in your career. Maybe you have decided to leave corporate America and decide to start your own business in order to really be able to step into your newfound power and newfound energy. When Pluto goes retrograde on May 4th, you might start to find more puzzle pieces to help you elevate yourself into this newfound position of power. You might find that you receive that promotion finally that will allow you to really step into that new energy and embody those traits that you need to be in the Pluto and Aquarius energy. You might also find that this could be the time that you really start to launch a product that becomes very successful. Or if you decide to create your own content. Maybe you decide to create a beauty or product line. Maybe you finally start to create videos that people start really watching and they go viral all of the time. Whatever you are deciding to do, now is the time that karmic things will happen to you, Taurus Rising, that will allow you to learn new karmic lessons that will help you elevate yourself into that newfound power and newfound visibility in the spotlight. People could also come into your life that could help you become the person who you're supposed to be, and they could help you elevate yourself to that brand new level. Gemini Rising, since about December, you could have found that you've had a lot of emphasis on travel right now. Maybe you've decided to throw your old life away and start only working on things involving travel themes. Maybe you decided to work in the travel industry in some way. Maybe you decided to become a travel agent, or maybe you're a content creator on social media who travels and makes videos about travel. You might also find that you could be somebody very focused on higher education at this time as well, and wisdom. You could be somebody very focused on universities or college at this time as well. You might have even considered working in the college profession, becoming a professor, becoming somebody who even works in the bookstore or is a receptionist, or somebody who has a higher level of power there and is like a dean of a school or something along those lines. During this time, you could be very, very focused on these themes in your life. You might have found that all of a sudden travel could be the only thing that you want to do, and maybe you want to travel across the entire country, or maybe you want to visit every country and document it on a platform like social media where you can share your wisdom with everybody. You might also have found that maybe you've decided to become a college professor or a university professor where you can speak and tell people all of the wisdom that you've accumulated on the subjects that you're an expert in, and really share your voice and educate the people who want to learn from you. You might have really started to step into this newfound energy and this newfound power, and you might have also found that throughout the spring of 2025, these themes have started to play a major role in your life, and you might have even started to set the path to become something like a college professor. And when you do fully embody these traits, you might have had the inkling that I will have a lot of power in this industry if I keep progressing forward and I keep pushing forward. I might want to write my own textbooks one day and be somebody who becomes not only a professor and somebody who is in a position of power at a university, but also somebody who's a published author, and people see my work as the authority figure in my chosen field and my chosen industry. You might start to find that that's a theme that continues to pop up in your life and something you really, really want to work towards. You might find that when Pluto goes retrograde on May 4th, that all of a sudden you start to find that the universe sends you karmic events and karmic people into your life to help you step into this new power. You might all of a sudden get an opportunity to go on a trip, to allow yourself to expand your mind and grow your wisdom and grow your knowledge and really be able to step into that newfound energy. You might also find that new people enter your life that will give you opportunities to become somebody who works at a university. You can make your way to the highest level and really step into a new power there. Cancer Rising, since about December of 2024, you might have found that your life has really kind of flipped upside down. Things have been happening within your life that have really started to affect you. You could have had new paranormal experiences. You could have experienced hauntings. You could have experienced a lot of very occult themed things happening to you in your life. You might have experienced a lot of things involving ghosts or spirits or something like that to start to enter your life. And because of this, you might have also found that a lot of themes involving death and rebirth have become very highly prominent in your life, to the point where you have had spirit communications or they are reaching out to you in some way. You might have had a lot of intensity with this as well. Maybe you've been starting to receive information from the spirit world to help you on the path that you're supposed to go on. A lot of very intense themes could be happening to you in your life at this very moment. Maybe you're having very intense encounters with other people, or maybe you're having very strange spiritual experiences where you're in these environments that are not super conducive towards you. You might find that a lot of very intense things are happening to you in your life as we speak. And because of that, Cancer Rising, you might have found that you have turned towards magic practices, or maybe you have become more interested in astrology or the occult or spirituality in some way. Maybe you've become more interested in something like tarot as well, that will allow you to fully navigate your way through the chaos that is Pluto through your 8th house. You might have found that you have started to manifest things into your life. Maybe you have fully embodied magic and in magic occult practices throughout this new time period in order to allow yourself to navigate the chaos and find kind of a pathway to get through what is happening to you right now as we speak. And when Pluto goes retrograde on May 4th, you might find that you are given new spiritual information or something very intense happens to you that will allow you to fully embody this new version of yourself that you are in. You might be given an opportunity to start a new business in order to increase your revenue streams. You might also find that some of you could play the lottery and all of a sudden make a huge monetary gain, or something happens to a relative and you receive a large sudden inheritance. Something like that could happen to you during Pluto retrograde through your 8th house. You might also find that when you enter this new time period, if you have received a very large unexpected sum of money, you might find that that might be your life now. Like you might have it with you and you are able to really just kind of take care of yourself on that. And that could be something that karmically happens to you. Having Pluto going through your 8th house, you could also experience during Pluto retrograde a lot of things involving death and rebirth. Maybe there could be something in your life where a lot of people in your life disappear for some reason and you then enter a brand new part of your life where you meet new people. You might all of a sudden find that Pluto goes retrograde. A lot of karmic things could happen to you that will have you start to navigate things through magic, through astrology, through tarot reading, or something like that that will allow you to kind of help yourself navigate through the chaos that is Pluto through your 8th house. You might also find that something could karmically happen to you that might be more of a tool to help you get through it. Again, maybe you start really studying astrology and getting really, really good at astrology. Help make your way through Pluto through your 8th house. You might start to learn new spiritual lessons during this time as well, Cancer Rising, that will allow you to become this newfound version of yourself and can really start to embody the power that you have during Pluto through your 8th house. Leo Rising. Since about December 2024, you have experienced Pluto through your 7th house of one-on-one partnerships, relationships, your closest connections. These are also your long-term business partners. You might have found that since about December, a lot of people have entered your life who are very, very powerful people. These people could be business owners or CEOs or people who are just in some sort of power and prominence in the world. And these people could have started to karmically enter your life in order to help you become the next level of yourself. Maybe you've decided to become something like a music artist and you finally get that record label deal, and very powerful people, and could have even been celebrities at one point, enter your life in order to form a business partnership with you to help you bring your career into the limelight. Leo Rising, you could have experiences like that during this time period as well. You might have also found that when you're just walking down the street and being yourself, you start attracting a lot of people. People could be walking up to you, asking for your number on the street, approaching you in stores. You could also find that people's heads turn to look at you when you're just walking down the aisle of Target. Something like that, where people are just really, really attracted to you during this time period. You could have a lot of people kind of obsessed with you as well and want to be your romantic partner. If they can't be your romantic partner, they might want to get close to you and be your best friend. You might find that so many people are just so magnetized towards you at this point in time. You might also find that you have kind of a death and rebirth in the people of your life as well, your closest connections. You could have also found that kind of in like December of 2024, a lot of people left your life who were previous best friends. You left a friend group, you could have left a romantic partner, you could have gone through a major breakup, just for you to have this rebirth in your closest connections in the spring of 2025. And now that Pluto is going retrograde through your 7th house of one-on-one partnerships, closest connections, and the people who we consider our long-term partners, you might find that you start to have some karmic things happening for you. Maybe if you didn't get that movie deal or record label deal quite yet, during Pluto retrograde, you might find that all of a sudden those type of things start happening for you. If you haven't had some major thing happening to you when Pluto was direct through Aquarius, Pluto is going to start being like, wait, hold up. now is the time that we're going to do it during retrograde, because we're remembering this information that we need to karmically do this for this person. That is kind of what is going to happen for you. Something like that, where somebody comes out of the blue, offers you a movie deal, offers you a record label deal, something like that is just going to pop out of the blue. Or maybe you create a very powerful partnership in the business world. Maybe you have all of a sudden rose into a position of prominence at work, and you find that during Pluto retrograde, the universe kind of backs up a little bit and, oh, hold on, we're supposed to do this for this person. This is karmically supposed to happen. And you finally make that really big business deal, and you get a new business partner, and you create a very powerful connection with another company. Either it's B2B, or maybe it's like an agency or something that works for you. Something like that will happen where you karmically receive a new partner in your life, and it'll be a very powerful connection, a very powerful thing will happen for you. Again, this could be like two companies merging together. This could be companies building a bridge together. This could be a up and coming music artist finally getting their record label deal that allows them to step into the power that they know they're supposed to be in. This could be creating a very major partnership. Something that just popped into my head is, you know, how Post Malone got his like Oreo brand deal, how he has his own Oreos. Something like that could happen. That's like a very major, powerful partnership. Something like that will allow people to also form a connection with you as well, and kind of see you as this person in the spotlight. Virgo Rising, since about December 2024, you might have found that you've had a lot of things happen with your health. Maybe you've had to take a step back from work and remove yourself from some toxic situations in order to focus on your health, your well-being. And you might have found that you might have decided to start making content and really focusing on like your day-to-day life instead of the hustle and bustle that is working a corporate job or something along those lines. You might have found that you have more power when you post things online, like your daily vlogs or your what I eat in a day. You might have found that you become a lot healthier and happier when you're in that type of environment. You might have also found that if you're not somebody who has focused more on the creative side of things, you could have really started to find that healthcare has become very important in your life, and you could have felt very passionate about it during this time as well. You might have wanted to become a nurse or a nurse practitioner or a physician's assistant or somebody who works in the healthcare industry. Or perhaps you're somebody who's a contractor for a hospital system or a contractor for some sort of healthcare system. And you could find that now health and healthcare has started to play a very major role in your life, whether it be you working in the healthcare industry as a nurse, or even someone like a receptionist. You're not a doctor or a nurse, or someone who's a physician's assistant, or directly somebody who works in the healthcare industry. You could find that your life kind of revolves around it. Again, you could be somebody who's a content creator who creates things online so people can see their healthy lifestyle and their day-to-day videos, their daily vlogs, their what I eat in a day. You could be somebody like that who posts that type of content for other people to see. And you might have found that you're finding a lot of power in those things. You might find that you rise to the position of leadership in the healthcare world, or maybe you start going viral for your what I eat in a days and your daily vlog. You started to find that you have a lot more power there. And you might even start to rise into a position of prominence, authority, and leadership as well. Once Pluto goes retrograde on May 4th, you could find that a lot of things start happening into your life that helps you reach that position of power, that position of leadership in the health world, either health world, content creation world as it involves health, something like that will happen for you. And you might find that partnerships could enter your life, new coworkers could enter your life, a new opportunity for work pops up into your life. And when you seize it, you will experience some karmic events that will help you really rise to that position of power in that field and in that chosen industry. You might find that people start to recognize you more, or you might receive a sudden opportunity that will help you get to that next level. You could also go through kind of a journey throughout the next 5 months until October 13th that will allow you to really step into that new power and even learn new karmic lessons that will help you become better at what you do and really rise to that position of prominence and leadership. Libra Risings, since December of 2025, you have definitely been working the hardest out of any of the other rising signs. you've not only experienced a lot of energy on your 5th house with Pluto finally transiting it, but you've also experienced a lot of 6th house energy. And Libra risings, you could have found that you're working really, really hard creatively towards a project that you're working on. Throughout the past 6 months or so, you've been starting this creative project, whether you're a content creator or you're a music artist or you want to be a movie director or a screenwriter or something along those lines that really involve very deep creativity. You could find that you're working really, really hard because you've had so many 6th house transits from February, March, and April to the point where you could even be working yourself to the point of burnout. Really, Pluto has been going through your 5th house and Jupiter is starting to aspect your 10th house of public image. You're starting to see these things come into fruition. All of your manifestations are coming into the spotlight where you are really making a living off of your creativity, off of your mind, and off of your talent and entertaining people. You're going to start to really reap the fruits of all of your labor. Things are really going to start to come to harvest, and you are going to be this person who is going to be in the spotlight all of 2025 and into 2026. You might even find yourself rising to a new level of stardom and visibility in the public eye. Some of you might even become celebrities during this time as well, as Jupiter will be transiting your 10th house of public image and career. And with Pluto in your 5th house, you're creating things. You're creating big major projects that you want so many people to see, and you have been working really hard all of spring of 2025 for this. This is like what you've always wanted to do and what you're working so hard for and putting in the time, putting in the effort, and you're really on that grind, making sure you're getting to the place where you want to be. And again, you could be doing content creation, writing that TV show, writing that movie, coming up with music, creating anthologies of written work, putting together a full music album, starting to really learn how to do photo shoots, starting to really learn how to really do a lot of promotion and doing things in that nature. And when Pluto goes retrograde on May 4th, you might find that during this retrograde, this is going to be a time where you start to learn how to get better at being in the public eye. Jupiter is going to be going through your 10th house. It's going to go through your 10th house while you have Pluto retrograde through your 5th house. So you're going to find yourself in positions where you're the star, you're in the public eye, but Pluto going retrograde through your 5th house is going to ask you to think of new ways to do things better. Think outside the box. Think of what you're doing currently and make it better. Work harder at what you do. Change up your wardrobe, change your hair, change the way you take photos, change the way that you do video. Even you might even find that if you're writing something like a TV show, you're rewriting it. You're going over it over and over again, changing the character development, changing the way that you're writing it and putting things together. So once Pluto goes direct on October 13th, you will be ready. You will be so ready to truly step into your power. And especially in 2026, you will be so ready to be the person who you are meant to be in the spotlight. Scorpio risings. Since December 2024, you could have experienced a lot of intensity as it pertains to your home life and who you are at home. Your domestic home life, your house itself, and your family has played a major role in the past 6 months for you. You might have found that you've gone through a lot of emotional turbulence that could have happened. Maybe you've had family members pass away. Maybe you've had some intense things happen with your family members. Maybe you've had people in your family have mental health issues, or maybe you've had people just act out sporadically in your home. Maybe something very intense has happened to you, Scorpio rising, as it pertains to your home life. Maybe something happened with your house itself. Maybe you had to change homes or switch home, and there was this big death and rebirth, and maybe even the location you live. Maybe you moved across the country. Maybe you decided to move from New York to LA or vice versa for your job, and maybe it had like a very intense emotional thing happen to you. Maybe you've also found that just a lot of things involving mental health has started popping up in your life. And when Pluto goes retrograde on May 4th, you might find that you have some karmic experiences with your family. Maybe if you have not moved homes or changed locations, maybe during Pluto retrograde is the time that the universe is going to send you that curveball. It's going to be like, okay, you liked New York City for a while, time to move to LA. You have to do it for your job. Say goodbye to your family, go back to LA, that type of situation. Maybe you start working in the real estate world as well. Maybe again, you have this intensity around homes and you're like, okay, now I want to become a real estate agent. and work in the home world. Or maybe you'd even decide to quite literally work in something like home renovations and work in home improvement. And maybe you're somebody who decides to be like, okay, now is the time that I am going to finally starting my contracting business, and I am going to start renovating homes for a living, and that is what I'm going to do. That's something that could happen to you when Pluto goes retrograde through your 4th house. Again, you're going to have this intensity around home, family, physical homes, and also like your mental health as well. So you could have some like very intense things happen there. And again, Pluto through your 4th house brings this like focus on homes specifically. So working in something like real estate or starting a real estate career during Pluto retrograde through your 4th house could be very likely and could be very well in the stars for you, Scorpio Rising. Sagittarius Rising. Since about December 2024, you could have found that there's been a ton of focus on who you are on social media to the point where maybe it has become your entire job. You could have been very, very focused on it. Maybe you have found that you love TikTok, you love Instagram, you love YouTube, you love every social media platform, and that is what you want to do for a living. You might even find this very intense kind of primal urge to start posting and sharing your life more. Maybe you feel like this is what I want to do for a job. I don't want to work a normal job. I want to work as a content creator and go more of a entrepreneurial route, and that's what I want to do. I love the attention that I receive and all of the positive feedback from people. I love affecting people's lives in a positive way. You could feel that, Sagittarius Rising. You could feel, again, this primal urge compelling you to be posting on social media and sharing your life on social media. You might also find that the more you post and share your life, the more positive feedback you receive. You might also find that you have some intensity there as well. So if you've not experienced just the positive aspects, there could be some darker aspects that come into light, especially when Pluto goes retrograde on May 4th. Maybe you start to learn more karmic lessons around social media and social media themes that allow you to gain a full picture of what really happens around this time as well. You might have also found that there's some sort of intensity around fashion and shopping as well. You could be kind of like obsessive with shopping at this time. Maybe you have like a social media channel where you share shopping hauls and you share your clothes. You could be kind of obsessed about it at this time as well. Like there's this urge and urgency to share when you're going shopping. Maybe there's part of you that feels like you have to do it in order to survive on social media, and in order to really become somebody who does well on social media. Maybe you feel like you have to create this character and show what you're buying when you're going shopping on social media. When Pluto goes retrograde, you might find that you start to receive collaborations from people and like deals from people that will allow you to really embody the person who you're supposed to be in the spotlight and sharing your story on social media. You, Sagittarius Rising, you're also really tapping into your creative energy here with all the transits you've had to your 5th house, but you might find that you are getting more opportunities during this time period when Pluto goes retrograde that will allow you to really tap into this newfound energy of Pluto and Aquarius. And especially in the next 20 years, you could find that this newfound energy and this newfound focus on social media really will start to come into fruition during this time frame. So when you are ready on October 13th, you will be in this new era of your life. You can really embody the person who you're supposed to be. Capricorn Rising. Since about December of 2024, you might have found that there has been kind of this intensity towards you as a person, like your own self-confidence has gone through this deep, utter transformation. Maybe you felt more self-confident. Maybe you've recently received some sort of movie deal or a music deal or something that will allow you to not only be able to financially support yourself with just being yourself, who you are as a person, but you might also find that this is more of a passive income situation. You might find that the way you make money has undergone this major death and rebirth. You no longer work a corporate job. You no longer make money a certain way. And now you're stepping into this new era of your life where you're given more opportunities to make more passive income and work to be the person who you are and not necessarily what other people want you to be. You might find that during this time, if you have any ideas to create music, to create that manufacturing manuscript for a TV show or movie, that screenplay. Now is the time that you might start to find that your ideas start to bubble up and you start coming up with all these amazing ideas to really create something that becomes passive income for you. And you really find this deep transformation in not just your self-confidence. You might become more of a self-confident person during this time, but also somebody who makes money more passively. And you might find that because of this transit, you are able to increase your finances as well, Capricorn Rising. You might find that now during Pluto and Aquarius, there's less of a focus on your appearance during this time and more of a focus on what you do and who you are as a person. People tend to like you a lot more now than just how much they liked your appearance during Pluto and Capricorn. You could have felt that you were kind of like a piece of meat during Pluto and Capricorn, and everybody just really liked the way that you look, to the point where they were obsessed with it. Now they're gonna like you more for you. Like, you're gonna find that the things that you're actually saying and the things that you're actually creating, people will like you more in Pluto and Aquarius than they did in Pluto and Capricorn. And when Pluto goes retrograde on May 4th through the sign of Aquarius, you might find that you're going to be given new opportunities to make more passive income. Maybe you start deciding to invest everything that you have gained throughout the past few months into something like the stock market, or maybe you start investing in real estate, or maybe you start a new business venture that allows you to make passive income that will allow you to support yourself, so you are working harder rather than smarter, so to speak. You could be doing a lot more of that during Pluto retrograde, and you could also find that more karmic things happen to you during this time as well that will allow you to do so. Aquarius Rising. Since about December of 2024, you could have found that there has been a lot of focus on who you are as a person and the way that you look. You might have even found that because people are kind of obsessed with you right now and they love you so much, you could have started to go through kind of a glow up. Like, people could have really started to focus a lot on your appearance during this time. And because of that, you could have changed the way you dress, the way you do your hair. You could have found that you want to start to transform your looks to really meet the people that are giving you all this attention. You could also find that because you're kind of like the it boy or it girl right now, people are kind of putting you on a pedestal, and you could also feel like you have to meet their expectations with how you are presenting yourself. You might also find that during this time you are very self-confident, even though people are kind of hyping you up right now as being like really attractive or really good looking. You could find that you feel like this utter need to kind of meet their expectations of who you are as a person. You could feel like this desire to meet what they want. And when you experience Pluto retrograde through your first house, Aquarius Rising, starting on May 4th, you might find that something happens that will allow you to transform yourself into this new direction. You might find that you start to change the way you look a little bit. Maybe you receive new information from other people saying like, oh, well, maybe you should put highlights in your hair or something. And you start to go through this transformation, and you find that you are met with like a very positive reception from people. You might find that now you change your looks, you go back to a different type of fashion, and all of a sudden people are really celebrating you for it. Like, you could go through something like that where you're going to be reassessing the way that you look, reassessing the way that you present yourself, reassessing who you are as a person. And you're going to find that you're going to change something and transform something about yourself and be met with positive reception. And once you hit about October 13th, you might fully be in this new energy where you are receiving all of this attention on who you are as a person. And the constant transformation that you will be going through with your appearance will tend to keep people on their toes. And you might even find that you could receive something like a modeling contract or acting contract during this time as well, due to how positively you will be received by people. Pisces Rising. Since about December of 2024, you could have been spending more time alone. Throughout the past 20 or so years, since 2008, even before then, you could have been somebody who's in the spotlight. You could have been somebody who was very successful at work, very well known and recognized at your school, university. Maybe you were like the person who delivered the college graduation speech. You were somebody very much so in the spotlight. Maybe you were a content creator early on and had millions of followers, and many people knew who you were. Or maybe you were something like a music artist. People saw you, people knew who you were, and you did really well in like groups of people. Maybe again, you did really well on social media and you were very successful on social media. You could have found that so many people started to really be very obsessed with you. And now that Pluto is going to start to transit your 12th house, you might find that you're taking a step back from that lifestyle. You might find that because of everything you went through throughout the past 20 years and even before then, now is the time you want to kind of be with yourself. You want to go and like be far away from everyone else and not so much so in the spotlight. You could want to live life off grid or move up to Canada and just hide away from people and kind of live this life where you are not so much in the spotlight and instead kind of with yourself. You might even during this time be more inclined to create things and be more creative in order to really express your true feelings. You could start to become a visual artist, or you could also be somebody who's more inclined to spirituality during this time as well. Maybe you feel this need to create things and then not really do much with it. Like maybe you decide to become a photographer and start photographing your life and then keeping all of your works to yourself. You might also find that when Pluto goes through your 12th house, spirituality might play a major role in your life. And you might find that you discover new spiritual gifts that you didn't realize that you had. You might find that a lot of things happen to you that can't necessarily be explained as well. You might have a lot of spiritual things happen to you. Very strange spiritual things could happen to you during this time, Pisces rising. And you could even receive more direct communications from your spirit guides or spirits in general who want to reach out to you to push you into a direction or want to help you kind of navigate life so life won't be as intense for you. Because especially you, Pisces rising, you've had a lot of focus on groups of people and who you are in the public eye, and especially your energy has really experienced and your soul has really experienced so much attention. Now is time to kind of chill. You know, your soul wants to chill at this point. When Pluto is going through your 12th house, you need to rest, you need to relax, you need to be alone in your own energy and tie up loose ends. You might find yourself cleaning more, and you might find yourself really just kind of living your life day to day by yourself and not so much public eye, public attention, red carpets all of the time. And you might find that now is the time that you need to relax and chill. When Pluto goes retrograde on May 4th, you might find that are going to be finally moving to that new location where you're not so much in the spotlight. You might be moving to a place where you can live. If you've seen those houses on like the streets where you live on like a farm very far away from people in like Wyoming or something, like really far away from people where nobody else is, you could start to receive those opportunities and you could take them. You could find that, yeah, I've spent a lot of time in the spotlight and now it's time to chill and I'm going to focus on my art and focus on being by myself and focus on spirituality practices, things like that. You could experience a lot of things like that during the Pluto retrograde that will put you karmically in a position for your soul to rest. You don't necessarily need to be so much so in the spotlight as you were in previous lifetimes or even really in the past 20, 40 years, Pisces rising. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it and if it was helpful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post new videos every single week.